Different countries censor video games based on their cultural values and societal norms. For instance, some nations may restrict content that conflicts with their religious beliefs or moral standards. Violence, sexual content, and political themes are often scrutinized to ensure that games align with the values of the population, influencing how games are perceived and played. Government regulations and control. Governments play a significant role in determining which video games are acceptable for public consumption. In some countries, there are strict laws regarding the types of content that can be included in video games. For example, China and Australia have stringent age ratings and censorship laws, often requiring games to undergo edits before they can be released to the public. Violence and blood restrictions. Many countries, particularly those in the Middle East and Asia, enforce bans or restrictions on games that feature excessive violence or graphic depictions of blood. For example, in Japan, games with realistic depictions of violence might be modified, while in Germany, Nazi symbols and references to World War II are heavily censored in video games due to historical sensitivities. Religious and political content. Games that touch on religious or political themes may be censored in countries where these topics are controversial. For example, games that depict religious icons, blasphemy, or critique government policies may face restrictions in countries like Saudi Arabia or China. Political themes, particularly those challenging the status quo, are often heavily monitored or outright banned. Sexual content and gender representation. The portrayal of sexual content and gender roles in video games is another area where censorship differs. In countries like Japan, sexual themes in games are more openly accepted, while in conservative regions such as the Middle East, sexual content is often edited or removed entirely. Gender representation is also a significant factor, with some countries imposing regulations on how characters are depicted. Impact on game development and localization. Due to censorship laws, game developers often have to make adjustments to the content before releasing their titles in certain regions. This might include removing, altering, or replacing sensitive material. Localization teams are tasked with modifying dialogue, graphics, and even gameplay mechanics to meet regional requirements while maintaining the essence of the game. Censorship in online multiplayer games. Online multiplayer games face unique challenges regarding censorship, especially in countries with strict internet regulations. For example, certain countries may limit or ban access to online games that contain politically sensitive content or promote behaviors deemed inappropriate. Additionally, online communication between players may be censored to prevent the sharing of offensive or controversial ideas. Video game ratings and age restrictions. To navigate censorship, many countries implement rating systems that categorize games based on content suitability for different age groups. The United States has the ESRB rating system, while Europe uses PEGI ratings. These systems guide developers and consumers in understanding the level of appropriateness for a particular game, often resulting in altered versions of games for different regions. Censorship's impact on global release schedules. The censorship process can affect the release schedules of video games. Games that need significant alterations to meet the censorship requirements in certain countries may experience delayed launches or fragmented releases across regions. This can lead to frustration among gamers who might feel excluded from playing the latest titles. Debates over censorship and freedom of expression. Censorship in video games has sparked ongoing debates about freedom of expression and artistic integrity. Critics argue that censorship limits creativity and prevents games from fully exploring complex themes, while proponents contend that it protects citizens, especially younger audiences, from harmful or inappropriate content. The global nature of gaming continues to make this issue a point of contention.